Chair, thank you for the opportunity to meet with the committee this morning. I know the primary focus today is on discussing issues of apprenticeship and traineeships, which for the most part is about points of entry into a career. Our focus in Skillnet Ireland in working with enterprises about developing employability skills over the work life cycle when people have taken up employment, so just to understand that context. As part of that context, obviously human capital is the single greatest asset any nation can possess. Workers, whether they're born here or attracted from abroad, are the muscle, the brain power, the creative force and the energy that drives our economy. In an international context, the IMD's Competitiveness Yearbook 2018 ranks Ireland 5th for attracting and retaining talent. The collective talent of our nation isn't just the bedrock of our economy today. A well-educated, well-skilled and adaptable workforce has been a core pillar of Ireland's economic and industrial policy since the 1960s, and is an advantage we must never cede. If we're going to keep that advantage, if we're going to keep the promise of opportunity to future generations, we have some work to do. Our economy is being rapidly reshaped by technology, automation, globalisation, geopolitical shifts, including Brexit, and several other forces. The manifestation of changes being discussed in the debate on the future of work are already with us today and are influencing the way companies operate and how work is organised. This affects job content, skill needs and quality requirements. This transformation is creating opportunity, but is also creating disruption, and with it, insecurity for many businesses and workers. Some of this insecurity can be attributed to two gaps that are preventing our nation from leveraging its talent and our people from realising their full potential. The first is a skills gap. Too many people lack the skills they need to compete for 21st century jobs. And the second is a people gap. Too many businesses can't find the workers, and often with the right skills they need, when and where they need them. Closing both gaps is an imperative to our competitiveness. This is a multifaceted challenge, as skills supply is met in various parts through outputs from our higher and further education system, including apprenticeships and traineeships, from employment activation and supports to job seekers, and from immigration. However, for the greatest part, the skills that power Ireland's economy are derived from within employment. For this reason, it's crucial that both businesses and workers are placed at the heart of the response. Skillnet Ireland is the national agency responsible for the promotion and facilitation of in-employment training. We have deep roots with enterprise in Ireland, and we are contracted with over 50 employer groups, sectoral groups, regional representative bodies and industry associations. In 2017, 15,000 private firms participated in Skillnet learning networks, and over 50,000 workers were supported by Skillnet-funded training. We are funded from the National Training Fund and as a demand-side agency, in that we stimulate and support enterprise-led responses through 65 learning networks across a range of sectors and regions. We operate a cost-sharing model where state grants are combined with investments by business. As well as offering a subsidy to encourage upskilling, cost-sharing derives from firm employer commitment to the training process. In 2017, employers made a total contribution towards training of £15.91 million through Skillnet. The Skillnet cost-sharing model is also creating significant funding leverage, in that every €1 of state investment is matched by €1.14 from employer contributions. This represents a highly efficient use of public monies and an effective vehicle for state investment in the skills of our workers. For 2019, the annual budget allocation for Skillnet Ireland has been increased to €28 million, equating to about 4.5% of total NTF expenditure, net of other employer contributions. Through successive independent evaluations, both domestic and international, including the OECD, EU and the ILO, the Skillnet model has consistently been highlighted as an efficient means of addressing skills challenges. An enterprise...
You have gone over your time. Can I ask you to move to conclude your opening statement, or if you want to move just to conclude with your recommendations?
Yeah.
Please.
I suppose the particular recommendations I would like to make in particular is that the government, first of all, that the government maintain a rigorous focus on the skills of those in employment. The government direct supports it close to labour market skill requirements and in targeting interventions that support effective enterprise-led training and preparing more people to take up employment opportunities. The second is to implement the full recommendations arising from the independent evaluation of the NTF undertaken by Indicon, including a greater priority being placed on supporting in-employment training and giving enterprise a bigger voice in how this is determined. The third is to provide greater incentives to firms in order to increase investment at enterprise level in staff training, and such responses, we believe, will serve to increase the productivity, innovation and competitiveness of firms and boost the skills, career mobility of workers and the value of jobs. And the fourth then is to continue to expand demonstrably effective government enterprise upskilling mechanisms such as Skillnet Ireland to allow us to accelerate our work and penetration, particularly with SMEs who employ 70% of our workforce. I suppose just briefly in conclusion, Chair, what the key message is for committee members is that we're at a moment of rapid change and massive transition, and we have to put the talent agenda foremost in our minds. That requires us to bridge the gaps that exist between students and workers and the jobs that will provide them opportunity, security and prosperity, and requires us to bridge the skills and people gaps that exist between the needs of employers and workers where businesses seek to expand their businesses, to serve their communities and to grow the economy. Skillnet Ireland provides strong leadership in shaping the future of workforce development by working with enterprise to meet their skill requirements and helping those in work to progress, develop and upskill for the future. We believe we're a strong example of how the state and enterprise can work together to meet identified challenges. With our deep roots in every region and sector, we're determined that these issues are addressed, and with the active support of government, of all our stakeholders and through collaboration between agencies, we're working hard to play our part in addressing those issues.